why are we having leaders that are all over 60 to 90? For decades now, African countries have been led by the same generation of politicians, old, some ruling for decades without giving others a chance. Yet the whole continent of Africa is still struggling with economic growth, the growth of infrastructure. The list goes on, guys. And then just as like young leaders are starting to take over, good example is the Burkina Faso Ibrahim Traoré. And what are we getting from the West and from Europe, specifically France and America? They are threatening to, not threatening, they have tried numerous times to take this young leader out because he's creating problems for them, you know. So is it maybe time for a lot of other African countries to maybe have young, you know, upcoming leaders like Traoré who are going to fight the corner for Africa to be better, for African countries to be better? Like, the real question is like, why are we having leaders that are all over 60 to 90? Keep hearing it's all about experience and, you know, experience matters. But if you look at it, all these African leaders that are not young, that are old, you know, none of them have delivered. If it's not corruption, it's unemployment. If it's not unemployment, it's something else. The infrastructure is falling apart. No job creation, no nothing. You know, they all have one thing in common, like filling up their pockets. Like, is it not now the time for us to start pushing for young leaders like Ibrahim Traoré to run countries in Africa? Because I just feel like with younger people who are into the know and who can see that unless we put these changes, it's always going to be the same for Africa. Because if you think about it, when all these old leaders are dead, what's going to happen to the generation that's coming after if they're not given opportunities? I really believe that it's time for the youth, for young people, for young leaders, upcoming leaders, to take charge. How that's going to happen, it's via the citizens of every single country to say enough is enough. Let's do what needs to be done. Because if we don't stop, or if we don't support what's happening in Burkina Faso,